Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is Gugzzr and I post Talk Tuesday videos every single Tuesday in which I talk about relevant topics and things that human society has probably had thoughts about, and I just basically ponder it. And I usually talk about the subconscious mind because, as you know, we all have a subconscious. It's just we never have been taught that in school. I guess it wasn't as important as the Pythagorean theorem, but it's fine. In today's video, I kind of wanted to talk about my perspective on hustle culture. Hustle culture is pretty much the work hard, play hard, hustle, work on your stuff, work on your side hustle, and I don't necessarily disagree with it because you do have to work hard to attain the things in life that you want, but I do believe that it has become toxic. You don't necessarily need to kill yourself in working so hard to achieve the things that you want. Let me explain what I mean by that. Do you have to put in the hours? Yes. Do you have to be consistent with your stuff? Yes. But do you necessarily have to be doing all these extra things that everyone else is doing and telling you to do, but it doesn't quite necessarily fit in with you? No, you don't need to. Hustle culture has become kind of mainstream, and I feel like I have been a hustler in the sense that I have been juggling full-time school, getting my master's, starting a YouTube, and working full-time at a firm that honestly just makes me work 24/7. I understand why people say you have to work hard because you need to make time in the day for the things that matter, but I think it's better to work smart. Working hard is old school, and I'm not trying to say that you're not supposed to work hard anymore, but all I'm saying is that this generation is different from the older generation in the sense that we have more resources, we have the internet, we just need time management skills. If you watch all my other Talk Tuesday videos, you know I talk a lot about meditation and manifestation, and I've learned so much through reading books and just listening to podcasts and just being more open-minded, and I've learned that if you're on the right track to what you're supposed to be doing and what you love to be doing, it almost doesn't feel like hard work anymore. So the word like hustle kind of comes from sweating it out and like working your ass off, and I agree that there are some phases or some days where it does feel like that, but it's not a whole lifestyle thing. Like, you shouldn't be hustling your whole life. That's kind of going back into a rat race, which nobody wants to do. Like, we're on this planet to live our life, so let's try to make work around life instead of our life work around work. If you're actually working towards something that you're like passionate about, it doesn't need to feel like such a grind. It kind of feels like fun, and I guess that's what this video is also talking about. It's kind of me trying to provide food for thought. The reason you're probably watching this video is because there's this little sliver of you that is like, oh my god, should I be doing more in this life? Like, is there more that I want out of my life? But what's the point of just talking about how toxic a hustle culture is if we don't talk about how we don't have to make it toxic? The first thing I would recommend in order to not feel the pressure of working on your side hustle right now is scheduling. Is there something in your schedule that you are making time for that you don't need to be making time for? Something that you don't care about? So pretty much it comes down to time management. People think they don't deserve or they cannot afford to have time to like spend with family, and that's just all about time management again, and it has all to do with just like the balance of figuring out everything. So it's kind of like creating a budget. Like, you have a certain amount allocated to something and then you have extra money over in case you want to get something else. You need to do that with your time, and you don't need to necessarily be completely exhausted at the end of the day. I don't understand where this culture has come from where you just need to constantly be working, and like you feel guilty if you're taking any time for self-care and any of that stuff. That's what I used to do, and I'm realizing how bad that is. It's almost like you're not having enough time to invest in yourself. And I'm sorry, if you're trying to hustle out here because you got goals, don't you think you should be healthy and taking care of yourself? Because if you show yourself love and you give yourself breaks and you make time for things that you care about, you will perform better and you'll be more effective and you won't burn out. That's another thing that comes with the hustle culture, is like if you're constantly just gonna push every single fucking day, you're gonna burn out and like you're gonna lose passion. So everything in moderation, guys, and in balance. And I know how hard it is because we see like videos and we see people who are like our idols and they're pushing and you have to understand that you're not seeing their whole life. You don't see the days they have rest days, and trust me, they have rest days. You've never seen the come up. These guys have already made it. So you're comparing like their chapter like 50 to your chapter 4. It's really important to keep this stuff in mind, guys, because burnout is a real thing and happens. And in the process of burnout, you lose your passion, and you don't want that to happen. And honestly, this life is so short. Like, why not make the journey beautiful? It's not always about getting there. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Keep working towards it. I'm not saying don't work towards it, but I'm saying have good time management and don't fucking burn out, because it's your passion for a reason. You want to spend time on it. You want to do the best that you can, and honestly, you can only do that if you care about yourself. So also implement like self-care stuff. And you know what, if there's one day where your brain just isn't working and you really just want to go hang out with your friends or something, allocate time for that. Like, you need that. You're just one human. Don't worry about social media telling you that, like, oh my god, if you're not waking up at 4:30 a.m. and hitting the gym right away, you're never going to be a millionaire. I just think everyone has a different way of getting there. So what has happened is that social media is depicting like all the people that have gotten there in that way. I know there's been people who've gotten there at their own pace, which is another thing to keep in mind. Go at your own pace. I also have a video on age and how people are scared of like getting older, and this next point kind of goes very like close to that. Everyone has this idea that like by the age of like, I don't even know, fucking like 25, I need to be like a millionaire. And again, it's influenced by social media, but what you're really doing is you're putting a limitation on yourself, and you're putting so much stress on yourself that you're gonna do negative manifestation, which is kind of focusing on the things that are bad, which won't happen, and your subconscious will be like, oh, this person's scared that this goal of theirs is not going to happen, therefore it must not happen. That's how manifestation works. So when you have like a fear of not making it somewhere because you put a time limit on yourself, that's just not going to work out. So go at your own pace. Don't put a stamp on like when you want to get somewhere. You should have a general idea. If you're trying to get rich quick and stuff like that, then I guess look more into investments and stocks and NFTs and shit like that. But like if you actually have a passion and you're trying to pursue it, you'll be happy to know that I'm telling you that you can take your fucking time. You don't need to rush anything. Also, when you truly have a belief that you're gonna make it exactly where you want to make it in due time, and you trust divine timing, you're just gonna allow the universe to work its magic. And working its magic is, trust me, it's gonna be the best rewards ever. I've seen it happen to other people. I'm manifesting that for myself as well, and I really encourage you to do the same. You gotta like understand yourself, and you gotta understand that like, hey, I'm gonna have days where I'll be able to invest like 5 hours of my day into like my side hustle, and I'll be able to go off. And then there's gonna be days where I can probably only put in 2 or 3 hours, and that's okay, as long as you're being consistent and as long as you're enjoying the process. This kind of also brings me to the next point, which is romanticizing the little things in your life. It's really important to be grateful for the abundance that you currently have right now, even if you're not at that stage where you feel like you have that. When you're grateful for the things that you have, the world will give you more things to be grateful for. It's again a manifestation tip. And I don't know what type of magic this is, but this is magic. Like, we clearly have magic. We can get exactly what we want by simply believing in it. That, if that's not magic, I don't know what is. It's just our fears as human species gets in the way, and it just fucks everything up. Like, that's what happens. Hustling, it has a negative connotation to it, and by implementing these things, I really think that it doesn't need to anymore. You can still be hustling. You wake up in the morning and you grab a coffee and you go for like a 15-20 minute walk and romanticize your life on that walk and make yourself a main character. You can still be hustling. You still come home and you can still like work on your stuff. You don't necessarily need to wake up, work out, and all that crap. You can go work out in the gym in the evening or at nighttime. What really matters here, guys, is figuring out your pace and being consistent with it. Having your own schedule, create your own calendar that works for you. Don't listen to other people. You can get inspired by other people. You can see what other people are doing, and then you just need to evaluate if what they're doing is going to work for you. Because at the end of the day, if something is not sustainable and you're not able to keep it consistent, it's not going to work. Another thing is that with this whole hustling thing, you got to keep in mind that there's always going to be things that change. What worked 4 months ago might not be working now. So you always have to be adaptive, and you have to always be on your toes and just be willing to shift stuff around, because maybe there's a better way something can happen. This is a cool example of like what I'm doing, because I remember when I first tried to start Instagram and I had all these poems and posts and that I wanted to post, I actually didn't know about batch making. And for those of you that don't know what batch making is, it's pretty much just making a bunch of TikToks and reels all in one day, and throughout the week you're just like liking all of the videos and trends, and then you just make them all in one day, and then throughout the week you just post those. And that small little pivot that I made, instead of in my head thinking I have to make them every single day, made such a big difference, and it's so sustainable. There's always new things that come about that will always help you, so don't be so stuck in your old ways either. After all, if you are a hustler, then you're an entrepreneur, and entrepreneurs know best that there's always learning that happens at every stage, and it doesn't need to be stressful. It can be beautiful. Learning new stuff is only going to make it better for you, and if you're not on this planet to like learn and grow and be a happier person, then why are we here? So anyways, those are some thoughts and some tips along the way I guess I dropped on ideology around hustling. And it's sad because a lot of people don't start their side hustles, and they don't believe in themselves because they genuinely think they don't have it in them to do what they see other people doing with these multi-dollar businesses. But at the end of the day, they also were in your position and they just had to start. Do not get, unwavered, and don't start to get all like stressed out if you're not able to wake up at 4:30 a.m. and go to the gym right away and just scream and go like, eh. Don't let that scare you. Again, everyone's process looks different, and you just gotta start. I wish you the best of luck, and thank you guys so much for watching. And if you enjoy content like this, you should definitely hit the like button, share this video, and hit that subscribe button. I also have the details and links to all my other socials down below. And aside from that, I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing day.